Okay, so welcome to lecture number 10 on the mobile application development. So in this chapter, we started with the concept called as a layout, and we saw there was a different kind of UI design strategy that we have in the Android, and for that Android proposed something called as the layouts. So we saw the different kind of layouts depending upon our design requirements. And also in the last lecture, we started with something called as the intents, okay, which actually started our Java programming part in the Android. So let's have some important things revised in this particular initial part. So we started in last session with the intents. Now what we said is intent is basically a kind of communication object which allows us to communicate with other component in our Android operating system. So suppose if I have the another activity within our same application, or if I have the other activity of some other application. So if you want to communicate across the different components in an Android operating system, we can communicate via the intent objects. So intents are basically objects, we said, and hence we said there must be some class which is related to the intent, and we said that for representing the intent there is class intent which is present inside a package android.content. So we can give the fully qualified name for the class as android.content.intent. And as we already said, intent allow you to interact with components of the same application, and at the same time it allows you to interact with the other application also. Now this was the example that we gave in order to understand the exact concept of intent. So we said if we have some activity 1, and from the activity 1 if I want to launch the activity 2, okay, so basically if I want to launch some other activity from the current activity, either by sending some data or without sending any kind of data, just if you want the communication across the two activities, what we require is something called as an intent. Now this was the most important thing, or this is the most important thing that we have to understand. For the intents, whenever we are going to create, it has only two types. One is the explicit intent and another is the implicit intent. So explicit intent is basically a kind of intent where the target component which is to be communicated, okay, we know the name of that target component. And as we already said, since we know that name of the target component, we can specify that by mentioning its name. And whenever we don't know the name of the target component, we are calling it as the implicit intent. But for currently, we are not interested in implicit intent. We started with just an introduction of explicit intent. So we initially have to see and understand what do you mean by the explicit intent. So currently we'll focus on the explicit intent only. So as we already said, in explicit intent, we know the name of the target component. Now this is important about the explicit intent. So as we already said, the target component that is to be communicated from the current activity is already known. Now explicit intent is specified explicitly by mentioning the name of the target component. You know the name. Now for that we already intent are basically the communication objects. So for the explicit intent, we have to create the object by using a specific constructor of the intent class. Okay, and that constructor is a parameterized constructor which actually takes two arguments, as you can see here, which actually takes the two argument. The first argument is the current component, or we can say the current activity, and the second component or second parameter is basically the target component, or we can say the target activity which we are supposed to launch. So this is, you have to always remember, for the explicit intent we must have a parameterized constructor taking two arguments. The first argument is nothing but instance to the current activity from which we are going to pass the intent, and the second parameter should be the class instance of the another component, or we can say the another activity which is basically which we are supposed to launch here. So we started with the example of explicit intent here. Let me launch the Android Studio, and what we said basically here is we created two activities, activity A and activity B. Now activity A is the main activity that will be launched by default whenever we are launching the application. So that's why if you can see the manifest file for the activity A, we have given the intent filter of the action main and the category launcher. The reason behind this is very simple. Whenever we'll click on our application icon, this will be the first activity which will be seen by the user. So activity A is our main activity which will be shown at the very first when we launch our application. And what we have done inside the activity A, we have taken a simple layout. So we have taken a blank screen which consists of a single button in a middle and it says a hello world. Now what I want to do here is I want to show here the example of the explicit intent in such a way that whenever the user will click on the button hello world, it will automatically launch the another activity, that is activity B. Now, what we have written in activity B, so we haven't written any code in activity B, but we have simply written a text in activity B which says I am B, just to know that the activity B is launched. That's it. So what we have in this example is two activities, activity A and activity B. Activity A consists of one button, and whenever we click on this button, we want the activity B should be launched. Now for that, what we have done here? So for that, what we have done here is, suppose this is our button by default available, and this is our activity. Okay. So by default, when we create our activities, how our activity will look like in this way. Whenever we have the blank activities, our activities will look in this way. And now what we want here is whenever we click on this particular button, we have to perform some kind of action here. So for that, we'll identify the tag which represents the button. So we know this is a tag which represents the button. Now, in order to add the click action, we'll simply add one attribute, and that is called as on click. So when you write on, it will automatically give you the suggestion. So we'll simply add the attribute called as the on click. Now, here we have to give the function name, or we can say the method name, which will be called whenever we click on the button. Okay, so what we did here, we simply return the attribute on click, and we are supposed to write the name of the method which will get called whenever we click on the button. Now, the question is, we haven't written any method here. Okay, we haven't written any method here. So don't worry about that. You just write any method name. So let me write the method name as test. Okay, so the problem is there is no method which available with the name test. Okay, so no problem. This is the advantage of using the IDE. So I'll simply click here on the test where it is showing the red underline. Then you will see one balloon here, and if you click on the drop down of this particular balloon, it will ask you whether it should create the corresponding test method for you, since it does not exist. Now, since it does not exist, you have to create the test method inside the activity A. So if you accept this suggestion, it will automatically create the corresponding method for you. So no need to worry about this. Even if you haven't written any method here, even if you write the name of the corresponding method, it will give you the suggestion and it will automatically create a method for you. So don't worry about that, or don't worry about the syntax. So as you can see, the red underline which was present here is now disappeared, and the method test is created. The method test is created inside the activity A. So as you can see, this is a.java, or you can observe here, this is A activity which is represented by class A, and inside this class we have the corresponding test method created. Now what we are supposed to do here, we are just supposed to create an intent, the explicit intent here. So in order to create the intent, we need to create the object. So how to create the object? We know intent, so that is a class name, space object name is equal to the constructor. Now what we have said is, for the explicit intent, we have to use a parameterized constructor which will take two parameters. So the first parameter is nothing but this instance of the current activity. So what is the name of the current activity is A. So what we can write is simply A dot this, and the second is the class instance of the target activity, as you can see here. So class instance of the another activity, that is the another activity that we are supposed to launch is the activity B. So what I'll simply write is B dot class. That's it. So here we have created an intent which says that your source is activity A and your destination is activity B. So we have created the intent which is represented by the object named I. Now just we have created this intent. Now in order to launch this particular target activity, or in this case the activity B, we have to pass this intent to the Android. So how to pass this? This can be passed by calling the method of the activity class, and the name of the method is start activity. Now remember what I told here, the start activity is the method of the activity class. Hence, the start activity method should be called as it is without any object. You can see here how I'm calling the start activity method. I'm calling it without any object. The reason behind this is the start activity method is the method of the activity class itself. So it can be called directly as it is without using any object. So this is the start activity method. Now, if you see here it is again showing some kind of error. Okay. Now, if you want to resolve the errors, you can hit control space here. Now, if I hit control space, you can see the start activity method requires at least one parameter. The start activity method requires at least one parameter of type intent. Now, if you observe here we have only one object of type intent, and that is nothing but I. So we'll pass this parameter to the start activity. That's it. And once we write that, you can see our error will disappear. Now, I think this is a sufficient code that will be able to perform the demonstration of basic intent. So we'll just run this particular code and we'll unlock our device. So let's wait till this particular project is built. Now you can see the project is built and it is installing and is launching the activity. Now you can see, since A was the main activity, the first screen that will be shown to us, that will be of activity A. Now it contains of button. Now when I click on this button, okay, we know the onClick attribute is set to test, so it will call the method test here. And what will happen inside test is, inside a test, it will create one intent with the source activity as A or the current activity, and the destination activity is B. And then it will call a method start activity which will launch the activity B. So let's try to click on the button hello world. So when click on the button hello world, you can see it will launch the activity B. So this is what we are calling it as the explicit intent. Okay. Now some important tricks about the explicit intent is, first, whenever we are having the explicit intent, we generally use a parameterized constructor which will take the two parameters, and the most important thing, the second and the most important thing, we specify here the name of the target component. We specify the name of the target component. Then here we can use a default constructor also. So we can do this also. So we can write it in this way. So intent I is equal to new intent. So this is a default constructor. Now what we can do additionally here is I dot, I can say set action is nothing but B dot class. Okay. So I can do this also, or I can say set target also. So, but I think this kind of complexity will not be required. So other than that, we can have A dot this and B dot class is the most simplified example of how to create the explicit intent. So rather than giving the setter method afterwards, you can specify it in a single line. You can specify it in a single line. So if you can run this, you can see from activity A, I'm able to navigate to the activity B. Okay. Now here always activity A dot this will not be required. You can use anything here. So let's say if I use here get application, this is also okay. If I use here get application context, okay, this is also okay. Okay. So if you use anything get application or get application context, anything will be okay here. As you can see, it will work in the same way. Okay, but my suggestion will be always use this instance of the current class. So rather than using get application context or get application, my suggestion will be specific. Always use this instance of the current activity. Okay, because what will be the problem when I use get application or get application context, we're going to see in the next chapters. But my suggestion here will be always be specific. So use this instance of the source activity always, rather than using the methods such as the get application context or get activity. So this is about the explicit intent. So we know it's behaving correctly. So when I click on the button, it is launching activity B. But how this will occur or how this happens? Okay, so this can be understood with the help of a simple diagram here. Okay, so here we have written a simple diagram. So as we have programmed, here we have two activities, activity A and activity B. So activity A is the source activity, which is supposed to launch the intent, and by using that particular intent, we are supposed to open the activity B. Now what will happen here? What will happen here? So whenever we create the intent inside the activity A, so as you can see, we have created the intent inside the activity A, and what we are doing, we are calling here the method start activity. And while calling this method start activity, we are passing this I as a parameter. We are passing this I as a parameter. Now, whenever we do this, due to this particular start activity, this intent is created and this is given to the Android system. So whatever this I intent is there, that intent I is given to the Android operating system. So always remember, whenever we launch the activity B from activity A, it is not a direct launching. Okay, it is not the direct launching. Whenever we create the intent and call the method start activity, the intent will be initially passed to the Android system. The intent will be initially passed to the Android system or Android operating system. Now, the Android operating system will decide which activity to launch. Okay, now the Android operating system will decide which activity to launch. Now, how the Android operating system will decide which activity to launch? Can anybody answer this question? How the Android activity will decide the activity to launch? Which activity to launch? What we have done here, we have created the intent and we have passed this intent to the Android OS. Okay, now Android OS will launch the activity B. It's okay, but how the Android OS will decide which activity to launch? By taking that intent. Yeah, anybody who will reply it in the chat box? How the Android OS will decide which activity to launch, or how the Android OS will decide the activity B should be launched? Yeah, intent filter. I think it will be too difficult or it will be too complex. Let's see here. Whenever we create the intent object, okay. So whenever we create the intent object, here we have two things given inside the object. The first thing that we have is the activity A's name, and the second thing that we have here is the name of the target activity whose name is B. Now we can say here, whenever we are passing this intent to the Android OS, we have two things here. One is the name of the source, that is A, and another is the name of destination, that is nothing but the B. So whenever Android OS will receive that intent, the Android OS will know this intent has come from the activity A, since the source name is A, and it will read the name of the destination activity is B. So it will come to know the intent should be passed, to the another activity, whose name is B, or whose class name is B. So what the Android system will do in this case, it will simply scan the manifest file. So let's try to see here. So if I scan the manifest file, you can see here. If I scan the manifest file, we have the application tag, and inside the application tag, what we have is something called as the activity tag. Okay. Now, depending upon the activity tag, the Android OS will come to know that whether any activity is present in the application or not. Okay. So as you can see, the target activity name we have given here is B. So Android OS has to search inside the manifest file. So the Android OS has to search inside the manifest file for the activity whose name is B. Okay. If I go in the manifest file, you can see here we have the two activities. The one activity is with the name A, and another activity is with the class name B. And whenever the Android OS will see such kind of activity whose name is B, it will hand over that intent to the activity B. It will simply hand over this particular intent to the activity B. And now what will happen? It will simply call the onCreate method of activity B. Now we know onCreate method create object of that corresponding activity class, and hence the activity B will be visible. So always remember, whenever we create an intent and call the method start activity, what will happen here is it will pass this intent to the Android OS. Then Android OS will open that intent and will see who is the source and who should be the intended destination of that intent. Now, in order to search that intended destination of the intent, the Android operating system will simply scan the manifest file. It will simply scan the manifest file of each and every application, not only the current application, but it will scan the manifest file of each and every application, because it is not always true that the target component will be present on same application. It might be present in some other application also. So that's why what does the Android OS do? It will simply look at the destination component and it will scan for the destination component in every application's manifest.xml. And whenever the Android OS found such component or such component class in any Android manifest XML, it will simply pass that particular intent to the corresponding component. So we can see the corresponding component here. Okay, so let's try to understand this. So here we know we have given the name of this particular as b.class. Let's try to modify it as a c.class. Okay, so if I modify it c.class, the first thing is basically it will not compile itself because class C is not present here. Now this is the feature of IDE basically, which gives you error at this particular point. But suppose that particular class is not present at that point, you can see there will be exception that created whenever you try to launch that application. So currently this is what the simple example of the explicit intent we have. Please ask if you have any doubt in this particular first example. Yeah, so please ask if you have any doubt till now for the explicit intent. So for the explicit intent, we have to specify the name of the target activity. We have to use the constructor which will take two parameters, and then we have to call the start activity method by passing the corresponding intent object. So if you have any doubt till now, you can ask. Okay, so if you have any doubt till now, you can ask in the chat box. So I can answer that, or I'll come to know that. Yeah, so that's what we are supposed to see, how to pass the data to the intents. That we are going to see, but let me know if you have any doubt till now. Okay, if no, we'll proceed further. Okay, so I think this was the easiest thing that we have. So sending data using the intents that we are supposed to see. But before that, we'll see one more example, and that is what we are calling it as creating a splash screen. That is what we are calling it as creating a splash screen. So anyone knows what do we mean by a splash screen? Okay, let's make it interactive. Anyone knows what do we mean by a splash screen? Okay, so how many of you plays a PUBG game? Most of you might be playing the PUBG game. Yeah. So how many of you have used something called as Instagram? Okay. So whenever you launch an application, there might be the requirements that you have to load some data in order to work your application, in order to make your application work. So basically, whenever you are loading the data, you have to show some kind of starting screen, so that user will get the information, user will get the idea about the data is actually loading. Okay, so whenever you are starting the application, in order to load the data in the background, you have to show some kind of start screen after the application is launched, so that the data will load in the background. So this start screen will appear for some time. This will appear for some time, and once the data is get loaded, it will automatically launch you to the next important screen or next home screen. Okay, so this is what we are calling it as a splash screen. So let's try to create a splash screen. Now here we have our requirement is the splash screen is basically shown for 3 seconds. So our data requires a time of 3 seconds to load. So here we want a screen to be shown for 3 seconds. Now what we did here inside A, whenever we'll click on this particular button, we will launch the activity B. Now here we don't want to do that. Here we have to show this splash screen for 3 seconds because our data require a time of 3 seconds to load, and automatically whenever these 3 seconds are complete, we want the activity B should be launched. So what we'll do simply here is, rather than saying that I am B, let's say we'll call it as home screen. Okay, data loading success. That's it. And what we'll do here is, we'll launch this particular home screen after the 3 seconds. Okay. Activity A, we don't require any button. We don't require any button. And hence, we don't require this method here because we want to launch our home screen by showing a splash screen for 3 seconds. Okay, now let's have a feel of splash screen here. So let me add some kind of image here in order to give the feel of the splash screen. So we'll right click on the drawable and we'll add one vector asset, and we'll choose any other, other icon here. Okay, so let me have any good icon here. So yeah, so we'll choose this icon. So we'll increase its size of let's say 100 dp. Okay, and we'll click on next and we'll add it here. And in the activity A, we'll simply change the layout for the activity A to the relative layout, and we'll add this particular image view here. So image will be wrap content, and for this image view I want to add the source as the drawable that we have taken. So source will be from the drawable, and we'll launch, we'll add that drawable. So what was the name of the asset here? So this is IC baseline account balance. Okay, and now we'll take it as center. So we'll say center in parent is true, so it will be available in the center. And let me change the background color. So we'll say here it has background color is #000, and now we'll modify this background color. So we'll take a sky blue as a background color. That's it. So this is our splash screen. Okay, and just to add the feel of splash screen, we'll add one text view here. So which says wrap content, and what we have here is something called as a text of the text view. Okay, so yeah, there is some problem. The application is hanged right here. Yeah, there is some technical problem here. Just wait for 5 minutes. I think the computer is hanged. So are you able to see the Android Studio window here? Yeah, anyone? Just reply in the chat box. Are you able to see the Android Studio window? Hello, am I audible? Okay, okay. So what we have here is some text. We'll have here some text, and you can say data loading, and we'll say the text color as white. And the text size will take here it as about 25 sp. Okay, so this is a data loading and it shows some icon in the background. And now what we have to do here is this will be the first screen, since it's a splash screen. So this will be a very first screen or the start screen that will be shown. Now we know, or we said that our app requires 3 seconds to load a data. So we have to show that particular splash screen for 3 seconds. Now how to do that? Now in order to do that, we have to create a thread. So we'll create one class. So let's say class my thread. So this is basically a class from Java, and we know how to create a thread by simply extending a built-in class called as a thread. And once we have a built-in class thread extended, we have to implement the most important method of the thread class, and that is called as the public void run. And what we have to do here in this public void run, we have to make the thread sleep for how many seconds? For 3 seconds. It means for 3000 milliseconds. And we know sleep method basically throws the interrupted exception. So we'll simply press Alt Enter here. So it will give me the suggestion surround it with the try catch. So we'll surround it with the try catch. And once 3000 seconds are over, we have to launch an intent. So for that, what we'll do here is intent I is equal to new intent from the current activity, that is from a.this to main to the b activity, that is b.class. And then we are supposed to launch the intent by calling the method start activity. So start activity of I. So what we did simply here is we created one thread, and for this particular thread we have called a sleep method for 3 seconds. So this thread will be interrupted for 3 seconds, and after 3 seconds what will happen? It will create the intent for launching the activity B, and it will launch it. Now what we have to just do here is we have to simply call this particular thread, or we simply have to start this thread. So what we'll do here, we'll simply create the object of my thread. So my thread, let's say T is equal to new my thread, and what we have to do here is simply T dot start. So it will start our thread. Now let's try to run this code and see what happens. So as you can see, it is showing this splash screen, and it has shown it's for 3 seconds, and then it will launch the another activity. So to see it again, so I'll open this app. Now you can see the splash screen is visible. This is for 3 seconds, and after 3 seconds it will automatically launch the data loading success. So this is how you can basically do the example of the splash screen. Okay. Now we'll move towards the next important part that is basically asked as a doubt, and that particular part is by using the intent we find another component that's okay. but can I pass the data between the two applications?
मम्मी
If there is some noise, please mute yourselves. Someone is there who is not muted. So this is a request for others to mute yourselves. Okay. Now, the question is how we can pass the data using the intents. Okay. So the solution is very simple. Basically, you can pass the data between the two components by using the intents by simply one method, and that is called as the put extra. So you have to simply use the method called as the put extra in order to pass the data. Now put extra is basically overloaded method. Okay. The reason behind this is we can pass any kind of data. If you want to pass a string, you can pass it. If you want to pass the integer, you can pass it. If you want to pass the float, double, or even if you want to pass the objects, you can pass it. So the reason behind that, the method is the overloaded method. Now how this method looks? This method looks in this way. So the signature of this method is put extra is the name of the method. The first parameter is nothing but the key, which is in form of the string, and the second parameter is nothing but actual value. And if you can see here, I have specified here, it contains a data type. So you can pass the value of any type here. Okay, just the thing is that particular value should have some kind of key through which the corresponding data can be identified. Okay, so let's try to understand this. Now let's take the same example. So we'll remove this code of the splash screen from this. And now what we'll have here is inside activity A, we'll simply remove this image view. And here we'll modify this from the text view to the button. And here we'll simply write it as go. So there is one button called as go. And similar to that, we'll call on click method, on click attribute, and where we'll call some method ABC. Now the method ABC is not created, so that's why I'll simply go here, click on this balloon, and we'll click on create ABC method. So it will create the ABC method. Now here we have to take one data here. Now let's say we have the data something called as integers. So we have the first integer as 5, and we have the another integer b as 7. Now we have to pass these integers to the activity b, and on the activity b we are supposed to show the addition of this a and b. Okay, now what we can do here? So we have to create the intent. So intent I is equal to new intent. So this intent is from the current activity, that is from activity A, and this is for launching the activity B, that is the B dot class. Now what we are supposed to do here? Okay, so we have created the intent A from A to the activity B. Now what we are supposed to do here is we are supposed to pass these two values to the activity B. How we can do that? So this can be done by simply calling the put extra method. Now put extra method is basically of the intent class, so we can call it. So simply it can be called as I dot put extra. Okay, now as I already said, overloaded method. So put extra is basically an overloaded method. You can see the first parameter is same, which is nothing but the key name of the corresponding data. But the second parameter is nothing but it can have the integer value, it can have the byte value, it can have the character value, it can have the long value, it can also pass the float value, even it can pass the arrays also. So you can pass any kind of data by using the put extra method. So let's try to see put extra by passing the intent. So the first key I'll be calling it as suppose number 1. So this is nothing but just a name given to this data, and this particular number 1 will be a key name for our value whose name is A. So I'll simply name it as, so it means pass the value present inside A to the activity B with what name? With the name number 1. Okay, now we have to pass one more data. So I can say I need to call the put extra method again. And here I want to pass the value of B. And with what name I'm passing the value of B? I'm passing the value of B with name number 2, that is NO2. Okay, now we have two values which have given the key name as number 1 and number 2 respectively, that is A and B. We have already inserted inside the intent. Now what we are supposed to do here is we have to launch the intent. So simply start activity I. That's it. That's it. So here we have created the intent which will pass the data. Now let's try to see what will happen when we run that. We'll simply click on run. Yeah, so let me launch the device here. So let's run this app again. So as you can see, it will show the activity, and when I click on go, it will show the another screen. But the thing is, it has not shown the data. Okay, so we have passed the data, but it is not showing the data. Okay, so how to refer that data onto the other screen? Okay, so this can be represented by something called as receiving the information. So by using put extra, we have passed the information, but in order to receive the information, what we have to do here is something called as get extra. Now, before doing get extra, we have to get the reference to the calling intent. Okay, now what do you mean by that? So we know here we have created intent I inside activity A, and whenever we call the method start activity, it will launch the activity B. So we can say whenever the activity B is launched, okay, so you already see this particular in the diagram. So whenever the activity B is launched, it is launched via the intent. So we can say the onCreate method is called via this particular intent. So what we have to do here is inside this onCreate method, we can get a reference to the calling intent. So inside this onCreate method, we can get reference to the calling intent. In our case, the calling intent is intent I. Hence, we can get a reference to that particular intent. So how to get the reference? So simply inside this onCreate method, what you are supposed to write is something called as get intent. Now you can see get intent will return me the object of type intent, which will give me the reference to the calling intent, So I'll simply call it as get intent. Now since it returns the intent or the calling intent, we'll assign it to some object, let's say intent calling. Okay, of course you can give any name here. Just in order to make it understandable, I used here the name as the calling intent. So what I did here is intent calling intent is equal to get intent. So get intent will get me the reference or give me the reference of the intent which have called the current activity. Now what we'll simply do here is we have the reference of the calling intent, and for this particular intent we have given two extra values with the put extra. Now we have to get these extra values. So what I can do is calling intent dot, and now I'll type G. Okay, now when I type G, all the methods which are starting with G character will be available to me. Okay, now you can see here, if I go here, you have a method called as get int extra, which means get the extra value of type integer. So I'll simply click here, and you can see it will require a name. So what name actually we require? Anyone? What name I need to give here? So the first parameter is name, and the second parameter is the default value. Can anybody tell me what should be the name here? So I'll open this activity A. Exactly. So this name is nothing but the name of the key. Okay. So if I want to refer the value of A, it is present with the name of key as number 1, and the default value will use it as 0. So suppose if that value is some erroneous value, it will automatically initialize its default value. Okay. Now the thing is, if I go here and hit control space, you can see get int extra returns what? It returns an integer. So whatever the value is there, I need to assign it to the integer. So I'll say P is the first value, and again another value, let's say Q is equal to calling intent dot get int extra, the value of the name of the second key is number 2 and its default value is 0. Now whatever the values we have passed with the key name number 1 and number 2 via the intent I, we have taken the reference to the intent I, and here the value passed we have given in terms of put extra, and we have passed with the key name number 2. Here, by taking the reference to the calling intent, we have called the method get int extra, and how we are identifying those values based on the key name, that is number 1 and number 2, and the default values are 0. So we can say the value of A, which was in activity A, is now present inside the variable P. The value of B variable inside activity A, which is given by key number 2, is now present inside a variable Q. Now, what we are supposed to do is simply supposed to show the addition of this. So I can say toast.makeText get application context. How we can show the addition is simply P plus Q. Okay, now this is basically an integer addition. I am supposed to show the addition as a string. So simply I'll append a blank string and for a long duration. So I can say for length dot long, and I'll show the toast. Now let's try to run the app and see the changes. Now, okay, so let's try to run it again. Yeah, so as you can see, the activity is launched, and whenever I click on go, the values will be passed, and here you can see the addition that is shown as 12. Now if you want to append this addition to the text view, what you can additionally do here is you can give ID to this particular text view. So let's say I'll call it as a TV, that's a text view, and inside B I'll be referring to that particular text view in such a way. So I can say text view TV, or text view, let's say text view is equal to find view by ID r.id.text view, and simply I can write here it as tv.set text, sorry, its name is text view dot set text as P plus Q, and since its value is integer, okay, let me check if it automatically converts it or not. Okay, so let's try to rerun it. So when I rerun this app, yeah, I think not launching this app. Let's try to rerun this. Yeah. Now, if I click on go, yeah, so as you can see, it's basically failing. The reason behind this is I'm passing the integer value directly as it is. I need to convert it to the string. Now let's try to run this. When I launch the activity, you can see the first activity that will be shown here. And when I click on go, it will show the addition of 5 and 7 as 12. Okay. So this is how basically you can pass the data by using the intents. Now this is just an introductory example of how to pass the data. Some more examples for your understanding will be again seen in the next lecture. So I think that's it for today's lecture. Any doubt till now, you can ask me in the chat box, or you can ask me even on the personal WhatsApp. Okay. So please ask if you have any doubt, okay, regarding to whatever the concept that we have studied. Otherwise, we'll stop, and the in detail how to pass the data we'll see in the next lecture. Okay, so that's it for today's lecture. Thank you.